30 years, football numbers, 30 years in prison, all so he can ball for now. Can't look at the long term, can't make decisions based off of what's best long term, but this dude did the same thing as all of these other dudes and these scammers and these rappers, and decided that he wanted to go with the PPP loans and the relief disaster funds and all of this other kind of stuff, and they are not playing with y'all. They not playing 1 minute with y'all, all right? So 30 years. Listen, it ain't no amount of money that I don't care if you give me 100 million. I don't care if you give me 200 billion. There is no amount of money that you can give me that's going to force me or allow me to consider the possibility of doing 30 years in prison. I'm not built for it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not built for it. Now, it doesn't matter what your profession is. There's always somebody trying to finesse the system. Why it's important for you to assess character just as much as you're trying to assess whether or not they are successful at whatever it is that they do. Because anybody can be successful, but money does not make you a better person. Success largely comes with your work ethic, but at the same time, again, character is one of the things that I pray for all the time. All right. So I was looking at this article and I am going to assess exactly what this poll is saying. Of by the time we get to it, I think that it'll be absolutely a phenomenal conversation that we're going to have. But a New York doctor stole 3.7 million in PPP money, relief money. You going to the P.O. box? Okay. Somebody sent me a package. Rita says she's going to get it right now. You about to go right now? All right, cool. Relief money to buy a yacht, luxury cars, Rolex watches. Y'all think that it only affects you and that it's only hood boogers that's doing the dirt, but I'm telling you, they going after everybody. They don't give a piss about who you are, where you from, what you do for a living. They coming for you. So I don't know how to pronounce this man's name. Let's say Constantinos. Constantinos admitted to filing 11 phony applications for aid using the money to finance what prosecutors would call a luxury lifestyle. Now, I'm always very, very curious, and I'm always concerned about exactly how these people have grown to be physicians and people in great prestigious parts of their life, but then they find themselves in spaces and doing things that are absolutely the dumbest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. A New York doctor. It reminds me of these doctors that participated in the opioid crisis. Greed spans and it knows no bounds. It knows no bounds. A Long Island doctor has pleaded guilty to stealing $3.7 million in relief aid and using the cash to buy a luxury yacht and numerous Rolex and Cartier watches. I'm amazed. I am amazed. Constantinos, a 40-year-old internist from Glen Cove, New York, admitted he filed 11 applications. 11. He filed 11, ladies and gentlemen, for disaster relief between March and July 2020. I warned y'all. I was having a conversation with y'all on my other channel. I said, listen, I know y'all think y'all walked away from it. I know y'all think y'all got away from it. I knew some hood boogers that wind up getting caught up in it in real life. Some barbers. It was a bunch of different people. They said we gonna get away with it. Prosecutor was like, nah, we gonna come see you, fam. And check out, y'all gotta hear this. Filed 11 applications for disaster relief, but then used the taxpayer money to bankroll his lavish lifestyle. Listen, Anton is an equal accountability partner. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. We gonna talk about it. But we're going to talk about it in order to use you as an example as to why you should go about doing things differently. According to court documents, he took nearly $200,000 in PPP loans. Yep, he sure did. Somebody in the chat said this is worse than the PPP scammers. He's a scammer too. It's the same thing. Just because they rappers, the doctors is doing it also, okay? To use as a down payment. So he said, listen, is more coming, but I need to use this as a down payment because I need to spend 1.75 M's on this yacht. All right. To hide what he was doing, look at this idiot. Watch this. To hide what he was doing, prosecutors say he wrote a check for the payment to a relative with the memo line stating it was repayment for payroll. I say it all the time. Just because you live in a specific profession or just because you own a business does not mean that you understand how money works in business in general. All right. You need a good finance person on your side, a good tax strategist, and also phenomenal bookkeeping. And last but not least, you certainly need a good accountant on your side. All right. He also was accused of using tens of thousands of dollars to lease luxury cars and buy multiple Rolex and Cartier watches. At least he picked the right brand. I don't know about the Cartier watches, but the Rolex watches, he picked the right brand. Prosecutors say he also used some of the money to help pay nearly $1 million in prior legal judgments he had against them. I need to do some more research to find out exactly what kind of doctor this guy is, because he certainly said that I got my priorities in place. I'm going to pay these $1 million in legal judgments against me. He was accused of shuttling the money between numerous bank accounts to obscure the source of the funds. All you got to do is follow the paper trail. Dr. Zarkatos chose greed over honesty by financing a luxury lifestyle on the backs of American taxpayers. A criminal investigator with the Internal Revenue Service said, this is what Biden said he need to fund. He said, listen, we need billions more to go after people that is not going to do things on the up and up. They making it bad for the rest of us. Numbers listen was disconnected, but this is the worst part, y'all. He faces 30 football numbers. Jesus Christ. He faces 30 years in prison when he is sentenced and will have to forfeit 3.8 million, which I don't believe that he has 3.8 million. So that's neither here nor there. And he'll probably lose his license, but this dude is facing 30 M's. 30 years, football numbers, 30 years in prison. All so he can ball for now. Can't look at the long term. Can't make decisions based off of what's best long term. But this dude did the same thing as all of these other dudes and these scammers and these rappers, and decided that he wanted to go with the PPP loans and the relief disaster funds and all of this other kind of stuff. And they are not playing with y'all. They not playing 1 minute with y'all. All right. So 30 years. Listen, it ain't no amount of money that I don't care if you give me 100 million. I don't care if you give me 200 billion. There is no amount of money that you can give me that's going to force me or allow me to consider the possibility of doing 30 years in prison. I'm not built for it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not built for it.